Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai, Basham Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, the teachers, the bishops, the teachers, the evangelists, preaching the truth and sincerity and the four winds of the earth, jeopardizing their lives, their freedoms, also more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akhwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson, and this is, I think this is Russia Today. I believe this is in Russia Today. It says Russia and Foreign Slavic Union says the EU countries target more Russians with language rules after another 5,000 people will have to pass a Latvian exam or face deportation. Right? Says almost 5,000 ethnic Russians living in Latvia will have to pass a language exam in order to keep their residency. That's a tongue twister a little bit. Residency under immigration administrations, the parliament adoption on Thursday. The Latvian language requirement previously applied to, was it 25,000 ethnic Russians residing in the Baltic states, but the Supreme Court of Latvia ruled in February that exempting those who receive residency prior to 2003 amounted to unfair privilege. Right? You gotta read the rest on your own. So this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14, and it shall be, well, it's talking about Babylon the Great, which is Esau, Edom, and Babylon the Great, right? Esau, and even the wicked 2/3 of Israel. But the main thing this is speaking about is Esau in itself, because there was a time when when the Lord said you couldn't touch him, right? There was a time when the Lord said you could not touch Esau, right? That's what the mark of Cain was. You couldn't touch him, and if you did, that there was a severe, um, I ain't gonna say penalty, but in a sense, I guess a penalty that came upon you. Because right now, when Esau, especially as Esau's ruling, if you do anything to him, much more things come upon you more than if you see a Jake get killed. A young little Jake could be innocent and nothing really happens to these Edomites, man. Right? But that thing is gonna get lifted off. Right? The curses that's on us are gonna fall upon these Edomites, and it's gonna be easy just to do something to an Edomite and no one's gonna care. Right? It says, and it shall be as the chase roe, which is talking about Esau, and a roe is like a deer. You go hunt it down. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. See, no one is going to protect Esau ever again. Coming to the time that he's not going to be protected anymore. And they shall every one turn to his own people. See, and this is that whole little stipulation that they're giving him about they have to pass an exam or something. This is basically prophecy being fulfilled. And even Vladimir Putin a while back ago called for all Russians to come back home anyway. And that's kind of pretty much what he's doing now when he went to bring in Crimea to him. And then he brought in, now he's basically trying to bring Ukraine back unto them. That's a form of this prophecy being fulfilled. But it's going to be a lot more of that, because even in America, a lot of people are going to go back to their own people. You're going to see a lot of Chinese people leaving here. You're going to see a lot of Arabs and all that stuff. They're going to go back to their own people, right? Because it's going to become a difficult time, especially when hyperinflation hits here. Because their whole point was to come here and make money and send it back to their own people. But once that's impossible to do, it's not feasible. They're gonna go back to their own people. So prophecy is constantly being fulfilled. And they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one to his own land. Every one that is found. So if you don't leave, right? You don't leave this place called America, Babylon the Great, in the time of Jacob's trouble. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, right? Hey, you're going to be put to death, right? And every one that is joined unto them, right? You join to the so-called this American system. No, I'm an American, and I don't have to go nowhere. You're a Chinese person. Pretty much, they showed you that in the what is it, that Civil War movie they had, that these two Asian guys, and the Civil War breaks out, and they still stuck here in America. And his thing was, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Detroit. No, you you got the all the appearances of a so-called Chinese person or Asian person. You might have been Korean, you might be whatever, but to them, you all look alike. It doesn't matter to them. You're all Chinese. You're all whatever. You're the enemy. You're Viet Cong. You're whatever. However they want to put it. Matter of fact, Putin just went and visited Vietnam. So it's strange how Putin is going around visiting all the places where America has put a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Right? All the ones that had come against America at one point or another, Putin is going to go visit them and making ties with them. Right? That's very smart. Because the enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Right? That's the art of war. So that's what Putin is doing. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I might as well go over and say, hey, what's going on? Woo, woo, woo. Let's collect together and shit. Hey, if America starts some shit, hey, let's get at them. I'll sell you some of my weapons, and that's basically what Putin has been doing, right? Selling some of his great weapons that a lot of people they can't touch. You know what I mean? So everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So everybody joined into this American army, the American military. You're gonna fall by the sword. You're gonna stay here in America and try to pretend like I'm still an American citizen. I'm not going anywhere. Hey, you're gonna be thrust through. You're gonna fall by the sword, right? Says this is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 16. Cut off the sword from Babylon. And Babylon is in the Bible a term for America. I mean, it has many terms: Babylon, Nineveh, uh, Egypt, Sodom, uh, um, the bloody city, the city of confusion. There's a lot of similitudes and things that actually represents America within the Bible. You're not gonna see the word America in the Bible because America didn't exist at that time. But the it's clear as day that the Bible is prophesying about America, and that America has to be Babylon the Great, right? The daughter of Babylon, right? Right? And like I said, and many of those other names that I have given you, when you get understanding, and he that handleth the sickle, right? Because they're in Babylon, the elites just told all the a lot of the farmers not to farm anymore, or they restricted them on the crops that they can grow. And pretty soon there ain't going to be any crops here. And then not to mention with hyperinflation, even with crops, it's going to be impossible for you to buy things. So you're gonna go into a time of starvation, right? It's gonna be a hard time. Jacob's trouble is going to be it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. They already did, even what do they call it? Experts, right? What they call so-called experts even said it's going to be worse than the Great Depression that what's coming, right? The sickle and the time of the harvest, and that's when the food and everything is supposed to come in, and everybody's supposed to so-called live plenteous. But the Lord said He's cutting it off. So you're not going to be living plenteous if the Lord is cutting it off, which the elite is actually cutting. They're burning down uh, factories that have chickens. And matter of fact, they're actually saying your chicken has the bird flu, and then the bird flu is jumping from the chicken to the cow. So those are all things that we eat, and also it's going from the cow to the pig. Those are things that we don't eat the pig, but people eat pig. So all the so-called things that you eat off of the harvest that you eat off of, the Lord said He's cutting it off. And even if Esau's doing it himself, the Lord is causing him to do it. He think he's being smart, but you're causing what the Lord said was going to happen. Fear, for the fear of the oppressing sword, right? And that's Esau. He's going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he have but a short time. Then he's going to oppress you more. He's going to put you in these concentration camps. These are the things that's coming. So this is what they're doing. This is like a light thing to do, to say, hey, you have to pass an exam in order to stay in our country. You have to pass this language barrier, right? Because you're Russian, or because you're Spanish, or you're from Africa, whatever place these people come from, and when they're coming across as so-called immigrants, right? Which all of Esau's places are having trouble with immigration, right? England, Spain, America. So, and that's all really technically the Most High allowing these things to happen that way. So you're having these problems with your immigration, but at the same time, other people who have enough sense and have enough money, they're going to go back to their own people, right? But the oppressing sword, they shall turn every way. So once everything gets harder and harder, inflation, hard to eat, hard to do. Hey, they're gonna go to their own place. You ain't gonna have to come up with some law or something saying you can't pass this exam, you got to go home. They're gonna go home on their own anyway. A lot of them are, but the ones that can't afford it, hey, you're gonna feel that oppressing sword. You're gonna die there. You're gonna come to either America, or you're gonna go to England, or you're gonna go to Spain or France or wherever place you're gonna go to, trying to go away from your whatever country that you're from, and run into the sword, right? They shall turn everyone to his people. See, everybody's gonna go. You're gonna have to be amongst your own people for protection. You're gonna have to go home, go back to your own home country, and you have to be amongst your own people. If you're not in your own home country, you're gonna have to be amongst your own people to be protected. They shall flee everyone to his own land. See, hey, that's what it is, man. Yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, because basically it's a thing called it's a phraseology that people have always used. Don't poke the bear. And then, I mean, coincidentally or accidentally, or what do they call it? Ironically, right? Uh, uh, Russia is known as the bear. So basically, this is like poking at the bear. Hey, go home if you don't know how to this and that. Let's. I believe they said Ukraine finally got some long range missiles. So the other day was the first time they ever got a chance to shoot a couple of long range missiles, which basically was able to reach into Russia. So basically, it's a way of what poking at the bear, right? And it says, "Behold, right? Behold, this is crazy. Hey, the Lord is cold with it. Hey, I'm getting chills just because I didn't even think of it like this. Behold, I will stir up the meek." See, and that's basically like poking at the bear. That's crazy. The Lord sent me to this chapter, this verse, because I didn't even think about it like that. And then what I was saying, that just gave me chills because that's basically, yeah, you're poking at the bear. You know what I'm saying? You stir up the Medes, right? And that land is basically where the Medes dwell. They're not actually the Medes; they're Edomites themselves, but at the same time, they're in that land of the Medes, and so that's basically speaking of Russia, right? And they're stirring them up. They're poking the bear. Um, stir. And that's the Most High. He's allowing you to do all these little miscellaneous things, but it's actually you're stirring them up, right? Because this whole time, Vladimir Putin was saying, "Hey, look, I don't want to go to war. I don't want to war, but I will press these, and it will be the end of the world." Like he's like the damage that these nuclear missiles are going to do. It's it for everything. He was like, "We don't want that to happen, but I will push it. I will push that button." He's like, "I have no quarrels about that." And he's an ex KGB, and he was an ex he was one of those persons who was poor in the time when Amalek caused their so-called Great Depression that caused them to go into a thing. So he felt the effects of being poor and their country in disarray. So he rather go all out than ever to let his people go through that ever again. That's why if you go to what is it, Moscow, they got bunkers for the entire city. The entire city of Moscow is prepared for nuclear war. That every citizen can be saved from nuclear catastrophe in Moscow. Look, man, they're ready. You know what I'm saying? So you're poking at the bear, right? And the Lord said, "Hey, stir them up." And that's really those are all fit to be the first fruits of slavery, which is beautiful though too. So and I will stir up the Medes against them, which is talking about America, Babylon the Great, which shall not regard silver and and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Hey man, once I mean we could trade things right now, but you're gonna take it too far. That I don't even want your money. I want your life. I want your blood. Right? We gotta settle a score. Right? The only way for you to get because you ain't gonna learn. right? Their bows, right? Them ICBM missiles, their bow, which is the silo, the bows also shall dash their young men into pieces, right? So the silos is like the bow, the missile is the arrow. It's gonna get shot and hit America. You're gonna dash all your young men to pieces, man, and they shall not pity. They should have no pity, Salaki, on the fruits of the womb, right? You pregnant women, right? There's plenty of so-called pregnant women walking around like nothing can happen to them and nobody can touch them and nothing's gonna go wrong because I'm a woman and I'm pregnant. I'm a mom. Well, guess what? and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, right? They don't give a damn. The missiles are gonna come. The missiles don't know nothing about anything but hitting its target and melting everything, melting the elements, right? The ultimate elements shall melt with fervent heat, right, from the ICBM missiles. That's all it knows. Their eyes shall not spare children. See, once the missiles be shot, it's not going to spare your children. And Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, and the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, the excellency shall be as when God, right? God, right? The power, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And I told you that was another form of actually speaking about America, right? Because Sodom or sodomy is put on a pedestal in America. A man can dress like a woman and it's put on a pedestal. A man can marry a man because America, Babylon the Great, said it was so. They went above God, right? And what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah where they thought they were better than the status quo, right? They had to be judged, right? Because it was more than to them just doing that. They were breaking all the things to the land Sabbaths. Just like America breaking the land Sabbath. The Lord said you should not build house to house. They were building house to house, right? And ultimately they were getting ready to try to rape some angels, right? And I'm pretty sure that same situation happened here in Babylon the Great, right? Also known as Sodom and Egypt, right? Where they, you know, it's they would try to have sex with the angels too, right? So, right, yeah, I'll just go ahead and go with this. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their flocks there. Right? So ain't nobody gonna come and say, you know what, I'm a great um, desert dweller, and I can dwell in any desert, and I can be able to withstand it. No, no one's gonna come here and pitch tent. That's what the Lord says. That's just what it's gonna be. Period. You know, that's it. Until the Lord say, hey, it's cleansed of its things, and now someone can live there, but only when the Lord say so. It says Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 27. Slay all her bullocks, which is who her is talking about Babylon, right? The daughter of Babylon, right? Which is America, Babylon the Great. Let them go down to the slaughterer, woe, which means destruction, death, punishment, weeping and gnashing of teeth unto them, for their day is come, right? So the day of America's judgment is going to come. The day is come, the time of their visitation. See, and this is the Lord bringing on to Babylon the Great what it deserves. It's going to be the day that the Lord the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to visit this place via through nuclear missiles, through calamity, through famine, through pestilence, through all sorts of things. So and through, like I said, um, they're already talking about the bird flu and all these different things touching your animals, your cattle, the things that you eat off of, you eat. So it says the voice of them that flee. See, every man's going to go to their own place, back home amongst their own people. So every voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, says that a lot of people are going to leave America, Babylon the Great, to declare, right? They're going to say, hey, declare in Zion the, was it, the the vengeance, right? The vengeance of Yahweh, right? All caps, our power, the vengeance of his tabernacle, right? The Lord is going to take vengeance upon this place, right? Call together, right? The archers, right? Some ICBM missiles, right? And that's going to come from many different countries, right? But right now, the thing we're talking about is just Russia, and Russia has the most missiles out of everybody in the world, right? I think Russia has the most, America has the second most, and then China has the third or fourth most. I think third most. Yeah, they have the third most. But then you got all these other countries that's gonna shoot missiles, and America ain't got enough missiles to defend all that, right? So it says, call together the archers, right? This is the ICBM missiles, the archers, the arrows, right? However you want to call it, against Babylon. See, Babylon, and it says the Lord wants them to shoot the missiles here to say, come against Babylon. The Lord's calling for all these nations to come against America, Babylon the Great. And all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. So once all the other people who left and they got a chance to leave and they went and they left, after that, nobody else is going to escape. Recompense, man. See, your payback. It's that big payback. Like James Brown said, big payback, I believe. That was James Brown's song. I used to like that song when I hear it. And that's basically what's going to happen, right? The Lord's going to pay back you for putting his children in oppression, man. The oppressing sword, right? That's what you want it to be. Now the Lord is going to oppress you. He's going to put you under pressure, put you in the, you know what I mean, a pressure cooker. And now everything's going to get cooking, man. Right? So it's going to recompense her accordingly to her works. So what did you do? Kill the Israelites. You put us in slavery. You use usury on us. You made money off of us. So what's going to happen to you, right? That's the same thing that has to happen to you, right? According to her works, according to all that she have done, do unto her, for she has been proud against Yahweh. And hey, there's no more prouder place against the Most High than America, the first place in the world to ever make it legal for a man to marry a man. That's a proud thing to do, a very proud thing to do, right? And then not to mention, you get in the midst of people marriages. The Lord says that let no one come in between a man and his wife. How can you come in between and say, hey, I can deem divorces and marriages? The Lord said, let no man come between a man and his wife. It tells you in the scripture that a woman is a man's possession. How can you become in between a man's wife? Right? A man and his wife. That is insane. You do all sorts of out of the man. You're out of pocket, Esau. Right? You're most proud against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and against the Holy One of Israel. right? Therefore, let's keep going. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, right? Hey, and all her men of war be cut off in that day. Almighty in the World War III. So you're poking the bear, and the Lord said, "Hey, you're gonna lose in World War III. Behold," which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I am against thee. Thus, O most proud, and there's nobody more proud than America, Babylon the Great, dealing with your president, because Biden definitely has to be proud. Even though he's walking around, which that might be an act. Somebody else told me they believe it, and now that the person has said it, and I'm thinking it might be an act too. Because they're all actors. Be actors. People who taught how to act so they can lie to you, right? Because all the elections just means they were chosen already. Your vote don't count, right? So it says, thus, O most proud, saith the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, for the day is come. See, your judgment is come. The time that I will visit thee. The Lord's coming to visit you. And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities. And that's them ICBM missiles, man. And it shall devour all round about him, right? Which is talking about Esau, Edom. So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakal Kodash, right? To the elder apostles in Connecticut, the apostles, the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching the truth with sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Bible ball.